Hey there. First video, exciting. For this one, I thought it may be most helpful to cover what I've been calling the fabric freakout conversation that I've been having a lot with my customers. Microsoft Fabric has a really great way to get started bringing some compute to the party called a fabric trial capacity, and those are starting to expire, and I had customers reaching out worried they were going to lose data. I don't want anybody lose their work and all the things they've been testing in Fabric. I don't want anybody freaking out, so I wanted to cover this today. I have the best gig in the world. I have the privilege of working with education customers every day as a technical specialist, helping people figure out their data. So I'm queen bee in my environment. Most folks are not, so I wanted to make sure to cover, we may need a little help here. Worst case, we may need help from our M365 administrator if they haven't doled out a right called a fabric administrator within their environment. M365 administrators have the keys to all the kingdoms, including fabric within the M365 bubble, but they may have doled it out to a fabric administrator who has the keys to the fabric kingdom only. So you may need help from them. One thing that is different about fabric capacities, the paid fabric capacities, they live in Azure. You may need help from an Azure administrator, and some of my customers are newer to Azure, so that may need more and more conversations to kind of get your heads on straight before you start doing things in Azure. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start to take a look at what we need to do here. Okay, I'm now in the foyer of Fabric, and what I need to do first is figure out where the heck do I put the paid Fabric capacity? What region do I want to put that in? So I'm going to show you, I'm in here, and I go up to the little question mark at the top, and I go to About Fabric, and you can see here that my data my Fabric capacity should be set up in West US 2. So when M365 was set up, it kind of sets up where your home base is essentially. So this might be a little bit different than, say, where your Azure admins might be used to setting up, what region they're used to setting things up. So make sure to take a look at this. This is where you're going to want to set up your paid capacity. And especially if you're going to be moving things over. You can set up capacities in multi-regions. Multi-region support is a thing, but to move content over, especially if you're using things like large storage format for your semantic models, those aren't easily moved. So it might be a little bit different, and you're probably going to want to just set this up in your home. You're going to set up the capacity, the compute that you're bringing to the Fabric party in this particular region, unless you have certain specific needs. But I will put in a link in I will put a link below for the details. You want to take a look at the multi-geo limitations, those different nuances. Certain things could be stored in your home region. You want to make sure to take a look at that if you're wanting to set up capacities in regions other than what it shows in your environment. So. Okay, so West US 2, we need to talk to our Azure friends and have the Fabric capacity set up there. Cool. All right, now I'm going out to, let's go ahead and, I have one already set up for time's sake here. I'm going to go ahead and resume it. I like to keep mine paused. That is something else that is nice about the Fabric capacities. It's a little different than, say, the premium capacities. You can pause it. So some folks will roll their own savings in this pay-go model and shut things down when you're not using them. So I've started mine. Something else I want to show you really quickly is you can change your sizing of your Fabric capacities. You can start with F2 all the way up to F2048. So you can see the pricing there on these different models. There are bells and whistles that kick in. I keep mine at this level, the F64. There are bells and whistles that kick in. Bells and whistles that kick in, like Copilot and a few other things that you might want to take a look at this level. But something else I want to show too, there's an onion layered approach, like with a lot of things in Fabric. You might need to dole out someone else here. You can see I am I'm the capacity administrator. I'm the only one here, but I might need to add additional folks here that gives them the ability to dole out this capacity to the workspaces that we'll see later. So, okay, so we have our Azure Fabric capacity set up, it's sized, it's put in the right place, and it's running. So let's move over here. We'll get this out of the way and get this out of the way. I'm going up to settings up here and admin portal. The only folks that can get here where I just went, the admin portal, are M365 administrators. They get the keys to this kingdom as well, and Fabric administrators. That's why we might need those friends to help us. So, but we really want to make sure we go here to the capacity settings area. Here you can see this is my Fabric, this is the trial that I had running. You can see I can also see here where the region is. It's active, but it's barking at me, you can see, to get off of my trial capacity, just like everybody else. But you can see here, I have a couple different capacities set up in my environment. My other capacity isn't running. I have this one running. So you can dole out, you can set up multiple capacities and administer things like that. Some customers like to kind of segment off and do these kind of separately. But you can see here, I have my Fabric capacity set up within here. And once you have that, you will then be able to set up your move your workspaces from the trial capacity. It's a very easy process to move around your capacities. So if I go here to workspaces, let me dole this by descending here. You can see I have Hopelandia University Med Center. This particular workspace needs to be moved. It's still sitting on that trial. I can do these, if I had multiples, I can pick and reassign these workspaces in a multi-picking fashion, but workspaces are the kind of one of those main security boundaries within formerly known as Power BI and also into now what's known as Fabric. You can see here, I have a lot of capacities. You can see I get this little squiggly, it looks like a confused, kind of a confused looking icon. That also gives me an indication that, hey, this is on a Fabric trial and it's ending. So if you see that icon, that might be an indicator. But you can see here, I have some workspaces that are not doled out to capacity, that I can't do Fabric things in there. So you can pick and choose your workspaces that you dole out to the capacities. Make sure if they are just doing Power BI and in the limits of Power BI Pro, let them live in a workspace and don't dole out your capacity just because you have it. I had a customer who doled out all the workspaces to a capacity. Don't do that necessarily unless you need it. Once you set the capacity to these workspaces, that's the compute it's going to use. Use the Microsoft Pro free, shared behind the scenes backend architecture if you only need kind of pro Power BI licensing. So you can get to, if we go here, you can see I can do multiple workspaces if you have a lot of workspaces here, but you can also go, I'll move this one. So we go into the actual workspace settings here, license info. And you can see here, I can edit this and also switch the Fabric capacity to what I want it to be. Here's that large semantic model. I'll select the license. So now we just moved our Fabric capacity workspace, we moved this workspace off of that trial capacity, and we're good to go, and we can fabric our hearts out now. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know. All right, we got ourselves off of those expiring fabric trial capacities and into the paid ones. I hope that was helpful to walk through. Please let me know if it is. And thank you so, so much. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to bringing you more videos. Thank you.